he has some points here, but he's not 100% correct. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Donald Trump saying the 2022 midterm election results were not his fault. And as a matter of fact, there's a very specific reason, a very controversial topic that Republicans did not handle very well that cost them the midterms. And before I get into what he said on Truth Social, let's back up a little bit. Remember, before the midterm elections, what did everybody say? Well, not everybody, but what did a lot of us say? Oh, it's going to be a red wave. Democrats are going to take big L's. We're going to take the House by a crazy majority. We're taking the Senate. That didn't really happen. I mean, we took the House barely by the skin of our chinny chin chin, but we lost the Senate. We didn't have the Senate to begin with, but we actually lost a seat in the Senate, a seat or two in the Senate. It was bad. It was overall bad. It did not go very well for us. But Tommy Lawrence say, rather than a red wave, it was a pink splash. Many have blamed Trump and his bombasticness and being controversial, but he says, not so fast. You guys in the Republican Party did not do a thing very well. Now, before I go any further, let's go ahead and read what he wrote on Truth Social. And you see the headline right here from New York Post. Trump says GOP midterm fail, not, quote, my fault, unquote, blames abortion and Mitch McConnell. Okay, so the key issue here that he's talking about is abortion. We did not handle that very well, and that's the reason why we lost. And to that, I say there's a lot more to that. Let's go ahead and read what he wrote here on Truth Social. It wasn't my fault that the Republicans didn't live up to expectations in the midterms. I was 233-20, speaking about those he endorsed, their win-loss record. So 223 people that he endorsed won, only 20 lost. I'll talk about that part a little bit later. Also, we continue. It was the, quote, abortion issue, unquote, poorly handled by many Republicans, especially those that firmly insisted on no exceptions, even in the case of the R word, you know what it is, incest or life with a mother, that lost large numbers of voters. Also, the people that pushed so hard for decades against abortion got their wish from the U.S. Supreme Court and just plain disappeared, not to be seen again. Plus, Mitch McConnell's stupid money. Okay, so I guess Mitch McConnell was not spending the money appropriately. He's going up to Alaska, giving Lisa Murkowski or whoever that was a bunch of money to try and defeat the quote-unquote MAGA candidate. I understand what he's saying here. And to a certain extent, he's right, but at the same time, he's wrong. But first of all, the whole thing about 233 and 20, a lot of the 233 were people that were going to win regardless of what. It didn't matter if Trump endorsed them or not. People that ran unopposed in super deep red states, deep red districts, they were going to win regardless. Now, the 20, some of those people were in toss-up races where it could have gone either way. And people saw it like, if not for the Trump endorsed candidate, then that person would have won. Prime example, Herschel Walker in Georgia. If you put some regular normie pocket protector dude in there against Raphael Warnock, they may win. This is the same reason why your man won in Virginia, Glenn Youngkin. Who is Glenn Youngkin? I don't know, but he was able to win in what, in my humble opinion, is a blue state in Virginia. Why? Regular normie, not controversial, was able just to be like a kind of a game manager. All right. One of these NFL quarterbacks that aren't very flashy but get the job done. One of those guys, a Matt Castle type person. You understand? But I digress. So the people that lost in the 20 were in toss-up races, and they may have won if not for being bad candidates and also possibly the Trump endorsement. That's one thing. But also about the abortion issue. You see, the problem, I'm going to come back so you can see me clearly. Let me just come right on back. The problem with the abortion issue is this. If you want to lean more moderate on that, you have to understand a lot of people that vote for you in the Republican side don't like that. Oh, they don't like that at all. You got a lot of Christian people that are very real about their faith. They're not playing any kind of games. They're serious about their faith. So when you say, oh, well, let's not go too hard on that, let's kind of be more liberal, you may lose some of the other side. The issue of abortion is kind of a lose-lose. The Supreme Court did a good thing. The Supreme Court was designed that way to overthrow Roe v. Wade, which is why they were trying so hard to get Brett Kavanaugh out of here, because they saw what was happening. They knew that if you get a conservative Supreme Court, you're going to have the issue of Roe v. Wade come up, and they're going to overturn it. That was their thought process from the beginning, which is why it was such an imperative. It was such an important thing to get Kavanaugh out the way, to get Amy Coney Barrett, Neil Gorsuch, to get these guys out of the way. They couldn't do it, and then here comes abortion, the Roe v. Wade getting a shutdown. So then they got to just capitalize on that when it comes to elections. And they spent millions of dollars on that particular issue. If you want to go more toward the middle as a Republican, you may lose some of those who supported you anyway in the deep, deep, deep red states or in the toss-up states. I'll put it to you like this. In every kind of toss-up race, in every close race, your goal is to get those in the middle, because they could go either way. They're not going to be tied to either party. They're going to vote for whoever makes the most sense for them. It may be a one issue thing. It may be an issue of how they present themselves, whatever it is. You want to get that middle ground of people to vote for you. Some are going to lean left. Some are going to lean right. And if you upset either one of them, they're not going to be for you. In the case of abortion, you upset those that were on the left, so you lost them. But if you go more toward the middle or more toward the left, you may please some of the lefties in the middle, but upset the conservatives in the middle. So you're going to lose them. It's really kind of a lose-lose situation. I don't think that it makes a lot of sense to say that the abortion issue is the reason why Republicans lost, because if they go the other direction, they can't really win in that situation. Now, I'll tell you what, though, like I said, it was deeper than what Trump was talking about. I think a bigger issue here is the issue of voting in general. A lot of people on the right, we are kind of old school. We're stuck in our ways. Okay. We only want to vote once or one day, one specific time of the year on election day. We don't want to do mail-in ballots. We don't want to do early voting. We don't want to do anything like that. We don't want to do drop-off election day. We want to be in person on election day. But if you are sticking to that, you're not going to have a lot of success in the toss-up races. You'll be able to win places that have always been red and that are always going to be red. But in the more toss-up places, you're going to have a hard time, because the other side, they're going to vote all the time. They're going to vote. They got all kind of ballot harvesting. They got early voting, mail-in voting, whatever. They're going to do anything they can to get as many ballots as possible, while we're not doing the same thing they're doing. Now, some are going to say, well, hey, ABL, I don't like the idea of ballot harvesting. I don't like the idea of voting early. I want to vote same day. You can stick to that. But the question is, why are you sticking to that? Why must you do just that? Why can't you do anything else? Ask yourself that question. Why are you in that mind state? Is it because, you're old school? That's what you always have done. You want to keep doing it. You don't want to advance. It's like, I found myself in that same situation, prior to, I think, 2018, 2019, I still have my old BlackBerry phone with the full physical keyboard on it. I did not have one of these with the full touchscreen until I think 2019. Before that, I had Blackberries and stuff like that. That's for real. So I was stuck in my ways, but I was realizing after a certain point, I'm holding myself back. I'm not updating myself with modern technology. Therefore, I'm at a disadvantage. This is the problem with Southwest Airlines and their cancellations. They did not upgrade their technology. Therefore, they're behind the competition. They've not put themselves on the same level as everybody else in the industry. Therefore, they got problems. Same thing with the Republican Party, those on the right. We don't want to upgrade how we operate. Therefore, we're behind. The moral issue is irrelevant here because what's immoral about doing things that are legal when you talking about voting? If we don't like the voting laws, we got to change them. But as long as the laws are in the books, talking about early voting, ballot harvesting, all kind of stuff like that, then we got to play the game, because if we're not playing the game, we're going to lose. So as I close, I'm going to say this. I think Trump had some points here about the Republicans and the money issues. But I think if you look on the opposite side of that, if you go more towards the middle or toward the left on abortion, you're going to anger some of those who are kind of in the center right on abortion, and you're not going to have them. And then we're talking about the issue of voting in general. I think Trump's bombastic nature and kind of toxic presence to many might be a turnoff, but I don't think that's as big of a distraction and the reason why we lost versus what I was talking about as far as the voting. That's the biggest thing, the ballots. That's the biggest. And then the next thing would be abortion could have played a part, but what you couldn't really do anything to fix that. The only thing that could have been done to fix that would be if the Supreme Court did not vote on Roe v. Wade right before the midterm elections. That's all that could have happened. That's if them doing that was going to affect the election regardless. All we can do is just stand on our principles, recruit more of us that are going to vote on the right, and update ourselves with modern technology, with modern voting. And if we don't like modern voting technology, we got to change the laws around it. Until then, you got to play the game or get played. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about what Trump said here on Truth Social? Was he correct about that, by Republicans not doing a good job with abortion, spending money inappropriately, blaming Mitch McConnell? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. He had some points in there, but he also had some things that he missed. He didn't give the entire story. I know it's just one Truth Social thing. There may be stories and truths about other issues that I mentioned, but that right there I think was incomplete. There needed to be more added to it. And once you add everything, you're able to get the full picture and see why the 2022 midterm elections did not really go in our favor the way we wanted. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.